The early morning fog was just lifting off San Diego Harbor when I guided my patrol boat into the marina. After 18 grueling days of coastal surveillance operations, every muscle in my body screamed for rest. Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison. That's me. And all I wanted was to dock this 25-foot Navy vessel, stumble into my condo, and sleep for the next 12 hours. I killed the engine and began securing the boat to berth 47, my assigned slip at Harborview Heights Marina. The rhythmic clang of the metal cleats echoed across the quiet water. I was running through my post-mission checklist when I heard the sharp click of heels on the wooden dock. You there! Stop what you're doing immediately. I turned to see a woman marching towards me like she owned the entire Pacific Ocean. Designer sunglasses pushed back on blonde highlighted hair, a white pantsuit that probably cost more than my monthly salary, and a tablet gripped in her hands like it was a weapon. Her face was already twisted in anger, and I hadn't even said a word yet. Ma'am, I straightened up, trying to maintain professional courtesy despite my exhaustion. Don't ma'am me. I'm Patricia Hendricks, and I am the president of the Harborview Heights HOA board. She jabbed a perfectly manicured finger at my boat. And that monstrosity is in direct violation of our community standards. I blinked, processing what I was hearing. Miss Hendricks, this is an official United States Navy patrol boat. I'm Lieutenant Commander Morrison from Unit 44B. I have full authorization to dock here. It was all approved when I purchased my condo. Approved? Her laugh was sharp and cold. I don't recall approving any military boat in our marina. Our bylaws are crystal clear. Vessels cannot exceed 23 feet and they must be recreational only. That thing is obviously military and is clearly over 23 feet. My jaw tightened. I dealt with hostile situations in my career, shadowed foreign vessels, intercepted smugglers, conducted high risk boatings in rough seas, but somehow this civilian woman was testing my patience more than any of those encounters. The Navy requires certain officers to maintain immediate access to patrol vessels, I explained, keeping my voice level. This arrangement is standard for personnel in my position. I submitted all the proper documentation 3 months ago. Documentation? I am the documentation. Patricia's voice rose loud enough to wake the entire marina. I've been board president for 7 years, and nothing happens in this community without my approval. Those other board members, Chen and Rodriguez, they're just rubber stamps. I make the real decisions here. She was already tapping furiously on her tablet, her face flushed with righteous anger. I'm documenting this violation right now. That's a $500 fine per day until this eyesore is removed from our premium marina. Her eyes gleamed with vindictive satisfaction. Let me get some proper photos for our record. Miss Hendricks, I really think you should. But she wasn't listening. Patricia leaned over the dock's edge, angling her tablet to photograph my board from every direction. Her lips moved as she muttered to herself, clearly composing her violation report in real time. Then she reached into her oversized designer bag and pulled out something that made my blood run cold. A roll of bright orange stickers, each one emblazoned with HOA violations in bold black letters. What are you doing? I asked, a warning edge creeping into my voice. Making sure you understand how serious I am about our community standards. Patricia said, peeling off a sticker with practiced ease. Before I could move, she leaned over and slapped it directly onto the boat's hull, right across the official Navy insignia. Time seemed to slow down. I stared at that orange sticker covering the emblem of the United States Navy, and a cold realization washed over me. This woman had just crossed a line she didn't even know existed. Miss Hendricks, I said, my voice dropping to a deadly calm, you need to stop right now. You just defaced military federal property. Federal property? She laughed again, that same brittle superior sound. This is an HOA violation sticker. on an unauthorized boat. Don't try to intimidate me with your military nonsense." She peeled off another sticker and slapped it onto the windscreen, covering the navigation permit. "I've dealt with difficult homeowners before," Patricia continued, riding high on her own authority. "Everyone thinks they're special, that the rules don't apply to them. Well, in my community, nobody is above HOA regulations. Not doctors, not lawyers, and certainly not sailors." A third sticker went onto the boat's control panel. My hand went onto my phone. "I need to make a call." "Call whoever you want," Patricia practically shouted, following me as I stepped off the boat onto the deck. "Call your captain, call your congressman, call the mayor for all I care. Those stickers stay put, and that boat leaves, or I will fine you into bankruptcy." I kept walking toward my condo, phone to my ear. Patricia's heels clicked rapidly behind me as she continued her tirade, oblivious to what was coming. "Shore Patrol, this is Lieutenant Commander Morrison, batch 77429." I said into the phone, my voice carrying across the quiet morning. "I need to report vandalism of United States Navy property at Harbor View Heights Marina, 2847 Harbor Drive." Behind me, Patricia's footsteps flattered. "Yes, ma'am. 3 violation stickers placed directly on the hull, insignia, and navigation equipment." "Yes, I witnessed the entire incident. The perpetrator is still on scene." I listened for a moment, then nodded. "Understood. I'll secure the area." Ending the call, I turned to face Patricia. Her face had gone pale, but her chin was still raised defiantly. "Shore Patrol," she said, her voice wavering slightly. "You're trying to scare me? Well, it won't work. I'll report you for harassment, for using military intimidation against a civilian. We'll see who ends up in trouble." I didn't respond. I simply stood there, arms crossed, every inch the military officer I was trained to be. The silence stretched between us, broken only by the gentle lapping of water against the dock. Patricia couldn't handle the quiet. "You military types are all the same. You think you can just do whatever you want, park whatever you want, and everyone else should just bow down? Well, not in my community." She was spiraling now, her voice getting shriller with each word. "I once made a resident repaint their entire house because the trim color was 2 shades off from approved. I forced the Henderson family to remove their children's basketball hoop because it was visible from the street. I personally destroyed a vegetable garden because it attracted bees, and I will not, absolutely will not allow some military officer to park his warboat in our pristine marina." And the sound of car doors slamming cut through her rant like a knife. 2 shore patrol officers appeared at the marina entrance, their uniforms crisp and official, their expressions stern. Behind them walked a Navy lieutenant with JAG insignia on her collar. Patricia's face went from pale to ashen. "Lieutenant Commander Morrison," the senior shore patrol officer called out. "Here, Petty Officer First Class," I responded. They approached quickly, their eyes immediately drawn to my boat. Even from 30 feet away, those bright orange stickers stood out like neon signs against the navy gray hull. The senior officer's jaw visibly clenched. "Sir, did a civilian place those stickers on a military vessel?" "Affirmative. Miss Patricia Hendricks, HOA President." I gestured towards her. The JAG lieutenant stepped forward, and I could see Patricia physically shrink back. "Miss Hendricks, I am Lieutenant Saracen from the Judge Advocate General's Corps. I need to inform you that you have committed a federal offense under Title 18, United States Code Section 1361, willful destruction of government property." They're just stickers." Patricia's voice cracked. "They peel right off. I didn't destroy anything." "You defaced a United States Navy vessel," Lieutenant Chen said, her tone cold and precise. "You placed unauthorized materials over official military insignia and navigation equipment. Additionally, you were directly warned by a commissioned officer to cease your actions, and you ignored that warning and continued the vandalism." One of the shore patrol officers was already circling the boat. photographing each sticker from multiple angles, documenting everything with professional thoroughness. Lieutenant Chan pulled out her tablet. I've accessed Lieutenant Commander Morrison's housing file. His berth authorization was approved by the base housing office, the marina manager, and your HOA board, including your electronic signature dated February 15th of this year. That? I don't remember. Patricia stammered. Your signature is right here. Lieutenant Chen turned the tablet towards her, along with approval signature from David Chen and Rosa Rodriguez. It was unanimous. The realization hit Patricia like a physical blow. Her mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. Miss Hendricks, you have two options. Lieutenant Chen continued. Option 1. We pursue federal charges for vandalism of military property that carries a maximum fine of $250,000 and up to 10 years imprisonment. Option 2. You immediately remove every sticker, issue a formal written apology to Lieutenant Commander Morrison and the United States Navy, resign from your position as HOA president, and pay for professional cleaning of any damage to the vessel. You have 30 seconds to decide. Patricia looked around, desperately. A small crowd of neighbors had gathered, watching the scene unfold. No one stepped forward to help her. No one spoke in her defense. 20 seconds, Lieutenant Chen said. Option 2, Patricia blurted out. I choose option 2. I need that louder and clearer, ma'am. Option 2. I choose option 2, please. What followed was the most satisfying 20 minutes of my week. Under the watchful eyes of two shore patrol officers, Patricia carefully peeled off each sticker, her hands shaking so badly she could barely grip the edges. Her designer sunglasses had slipped down, and I could see tears streaming down her face, ruining her carefully applied makeup. The shore patrol officers inspected every inch of the hull afterwards, noting areas where adhesive residue remained. Lieutenant Chen photographed everything, building an ironclad case in case Patricia failed to comply with the agreement. Finally, Lieutenant Chen produced a formal document. This agreement includes your immediate resignation as HOA president, a written apology to be delivered within 48 hours, and payment for professional hull cleaning estimated at $1,800. Sign here, initial here, and date here. Patricia's hand trembled as she signed, her perfect composure completely shattered. After the shore patrol officers left, I found myself alone on the deck with Patricia. She stood hunched over, looking smaller, somehow broken. Despite everything, I felt a flicker of sympathy. Miss Hendricks, I said quietly, I served my country to protect everyone's freedoms, including yours to manage an HOA, but there are boundaries. Federal law isn't an HOA bylaw you can override. I hope you understand that now. She nodded without looking up, then looked away, her confident stride replaced by an uncertain shuffle. 48 hours later, a thick envelope appeared in my mailbox. Inside was a 2-page handwritten apology, surprisingly genuine, admitting her overreach and expressing real regret. The following week, the HOA newsletter announced Patricia's resignation for personal reasons and thanked her for 7 years of his service. The new board president, Mrs. Rosa Rodriguez, personally visited my condo with homemade tamales and a warm welcome to the community. She assured me that my petrol boat would never be questioned again. That evening I sat on my balcony with a cold beer, watching the sunset paint the harbor in brilliant shades of orange and gold. My petrol boat bobbed gently in its slip below, finally free of those absurd stickers, gleaming clean and proper. Some victories don't require weapons or force. Sometimes all it takes is standing your ground and letting federal law do exactly what it was designed to do: protect what matters, even from the most determined HOA Karen who thought she ruled the world.